Kavanaugh, don't you forget it, bro. I call you niggas out, yeah, I call you hoes. Baddest MC in the game. Y'all gonna know the name. Y'all gonna remember the name. I'm gonna tear that ass out the frame. Fuck shame. You boys can't even back the day. What, man? Y'all lanes ain't even got no game. I'm straight from the south, knock a nigga out. Without, turn the party out. Slap nigga, I'm out. Have she put you out, go and make a shout. But shit, you a dummy. Y'all niggas think you fuck with me, it's 80 sunny. Looking for the girls that got that good and cutty. She's good with it. Gonna fuck a dummy, gonna leave her coming. Gonna put in the tummy, gonna leave it running. Taste the pussy just like honey, cause you a dummy. What you want, tell me what you need. Do what you can, hit me up the street. Do you smoke some $3 with me? If you not, fuck with me, you a dummy. 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 Dummy.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem hearing you. I had a problem with my microphone.
Yeah, shoot. That part of the world of podcast. You know, you're the first person that I have done on Anchor in almost like 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, same thing with me. I've been doing it all on Skype.
Yeah, because it just like Anchor acts. Anchor does what it want to do when it feels like it. So
yeah, sometimes it's not good.
Yeah, so I've been doing, plus been doing video and everything. So that's has been kind of it cool doing more video, podcasting and everything. So how your podcasting doing? Before I get into everything.
It's doing okay. We're getting like 1,000 listens per recording.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
it's not doing too bad. We had a couple of big ones, like Alexis Fox was very popular.
Yes, and also you're now stateside.
Yeah, I'm in Houston.
Oh my good. Oh shit. So yeah, we about to get into all of that. So hello, smokers. And today's a special episode. I'm not gonna go through all the particulars. Y'all know what it is. Who we sponsored by. Actually, I'm talking to one of the sponsors. Actually, one of our oldest sponsors, Eroticism Magazine, the editor, CEO, owner, head photographer, and Mr. Everything, Kevin Stolz. Say hello to the listeners.
Hey, Bobby, thanks for having me back on again. Hello, everybody out there.
No doubt. So, and you know the other sponsors is Blush Erotica, LA Swirl, as well as XIBuddy.com. Find me on Fully Swap Radio 5 days a week. Also, probably on the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and buy from over 500 Black-owned retailers and shop. Also find me on SkyHawkAfterDarkTV.com as well as the BGB app. So, man, so the last time we had talked to my wonderful sponsor, he was still in Mexico. So now tell us, how did you get across the border?
Well, I mean, it was a process. You know, as you know, in 2019, I took ill, and then 2020 we had to deal with everybody dealt with the COVID, and in Mexico we dealt with it for 18 months almost. So we were working only with people that, you know, I knew that were close by. My girlfriend who was living with me, we were the only ones that were doing content for the magazine at the time. But we did have contributions from models and other photographers, and getting across the border was easy. I had to go to immigration here in Mexico. I had to prove that I paid my taxes, and I had a tax bill that I had to pay. So I had to go to the bank and get a statement from the bank that I did pay it, and I took that to immigration, and they gave me a pass to leave the country. And so with that, you know, I presented at the airport, and that was it. In 2 hours, I was here in Houston.
No doubt. So how was the transition being back into the United States for you?
Well, I mean, I'm telling you, it's been 27 years since I've lived here. And it's there've been a lot of changes. too much.
Yeah, because it's one, you've been gone for a minute, so it's just like when I left Durham, and every time I came back, things kind of changed. So I can imagine you not even being stateside or even seeing what was on this side of the fence. You know, it was kind of a culture shock almost.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then the new banking regulations and the new we have new banking regulations since I've been here. I had a hell of a time opening a bank account, even with a bank that I dealt with before that for many years. Finally, I got connected with them, and one big difference that I note is the medical system here is so screwed up. You know, compared. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, compared to Mexico, and I never like to compare anything to Mexico because Mexico is really in shambles. But you know, you get sick in Mexico, you may not have insurance. Like my situation was, I didn't have insurance, but you go walk into the doctor's office, you wait in line, and you go to the cardiologist, and you go. Here, I had to wait 2 months to get to the cardiologist. I had to wait a month and a half, 3 months actually, to get a doctor's appointment. I arrived here in July, and my doctor's appointment was the first week in November. So, fortunately, I went to the doctor the day before I flew. I got a medical statement from the doctor for my prescriptions and stuff, and went to the pharmacy and bought a shitload of medication because in Mexico, my 5 medications that I do take, they cost me about $26 total for 30 days. And here it costs about $680 for 30 days of the same medications. So, so I was fortunate. I brought 6 months worth of medication with me. And I got my health insurance now, and I'm working off of that. And now I'm waiting for more medical exams. It took a couple of months to get tests scheduled and stuff. So the medical system and the pharmaceutical here in the U.S. is so far behind Mexico. I look at the TV, and the TV commercials are 90%, prescription drugs that they're trying to get the public to ask their doctor to sell them or to prescribe to them, and in Mexico, you can't advertise on TV any kinds of drugs, or from drug companies or anything like that, which obviously the trickle down effect is that it keeps the costs lower. And it's illegal for doctors to accept incentives to prescribe drugs. So if a doctor gets caught accepting incentives, he could be jailed. And you definitely don't want to be jailed or arrested in Mexico.
But you hear the mainstream media scream that our medical system is way better than other countries.
Well, it may be better than some countries, but Mexico has the same technology. When I had eye surgery, I had a head injury, and I had traumatic cataracts on the eyes. And I went and I had a Mexican surgeon, eye surgeon, who comes to the U.S. to train American eye surgeons. And he was the one that operated. Now, it cost me $3,000 for a surgery that here costs about $60,000. And it was done in an incredible environment. The anesthesiologist was incredible. I mean, I can't complain about any of my experiences in Mexico with the medical staff. All well trained. My doctor in Mexico City was transferred from Miami to Mexico. He was married to an American girl. They got divorced, so they deported him back to Mexico, and he came back to Mexico, and he's now working for a fraction of what he worked for in Miami, but still giving the best possible care. So, we can talk about other countries too. I can tell you that in the UK or France, Germany, some of the best medical is free.
Yeah.
So, we can talk about all of that. That was I think the 2 biggest obstacles I had here was getting reacquainted with the medical system, number 1, and number 2, your FICO score or FICO score, whatever they call it, for credit cards and for loans and stuff like that. I mean, I obviously didn't have one after 26 years.
Yeah,
So
because you ain't even been here.
exactly. When I was here last, we were working on a system that was like you had, A credit, double A credit, or triple A credit. And my wife and I, when we were here, we had triple A credit. We had the best credit. We had $100,000 personal credit line, and so I'm starting all over again. A credit card company gave me a $200, limit credit card, and it's where I started. So, I'm slowly building my FICO score up and watching it on a regular basis. And I am collecting my retirement, at the same time doing the magazine, because the magazine it hasn't been profitable yet, but we now have a photographer from New York City, very famous photographer from New York City, and a photographer from Colorado who are on staff with us. We just shot 30 models this week at AVN in Las Vegas.
Nice. Because I was going to ask, did you have any like photographers working AVNs and stuff? Especially since this is the first in person here.
Yeah. We shot some incredible talent this week. Zarella Skies, Jupiter Jetson, Marika Haas, along with some Penthouse models, some Playboy models from last year. And we're looking forward to shooting a lot more talents. More talents like Harley King got in contact with me today, but we were pulling out of AVN today because we had our photographer had a commitment in New York. So, but yeah, we did some incredible stuff. So the 2023 lineup is just out of this world. Monday should be available our January issue with Alana Love on the cover this time. And we've got some great talents inside. We've got Karma RX coming in 2023. And even one of the girls that have been on your show, her and I have been talking and trying to get her photographer, or get somebody to shoot her. She said she would be willing to come to Houston. So, hopefully we'll be able to connect with her and get her in there.
Now that you stateside, and plus ladies do come to Texas, they do come to Houston. Now you can actually connect with ladies face to face.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right where I was looking I'm looking to open a studio about a mile from where I live, and right now in the same property is a recording studio dedicated to rap and hip hop. So, and I was already talking to them. They were really excited to hear that I was planning on being there. They want to do a demo video. So yeah, I mean that things will eventually fall into place. It's been a uphill battle, but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, because I know one is being stateside makes business a little easier for you to handle, especially hands-on.
Exactly, the U.S. business.
Yeah, and plus on top of that, like I said, hooking up with models, face to face or what have you. So, what models have they're talking about coming to see you in Houston?
Her name was Cavelli.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Aspen Cavelli.
Yep.
Yes. She was on the show. Beautiful young lady.
Yeah, she was telling me, and she sent me some material, but unfortunately it didn't meet the publisher standards. So, we talked about alternatives. So, and we do, I know she's in Florida, but we do also, my photographer from New York, he's always traveling. We're always at Exotica. He's always at, shooting around the country. He shot in Las Vegas this week, shooting in New York this week. He shot in New Jersey the week before.
So how did you develop your team? Because was they already in place when you was in Mexico, or just recently how they fell into place when you got over here?
My guy in Colorado, he's a writer. He writes for pop magazines and things like that. He writes about the green stuff. And he's a photographer, and he's worked with some talents who were already connected to me through third parties. And so one of my girls asked him if he would shoot her. And from there, he contacted me, and we developed a relationship. That was in Mexico. I was in Mexico, and the guy from New York. That's recent after I got back, and it was also a model connection. One of my great good friends up in Ohio. She had been shooting with him, and she was really happy with his work, and she connected us, and there was just a click.
Definitely. Now, the question that fans will always want to ask, and I have people ask this, is what is the place of magazines now in this day and age when it comes to the porn community?
Well, I think the majority of magazines, except for the ones that do their own their own print publishing, like Playboy and Penthouse, all of the rest of the magazines are digital.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we are. We offered a digital subscription. We offer digital issues. If people want to buy individual issues, we're working with one publisher now, Zinio, who happens to be in the UK, and they've been very good to us. We've been working with them for about 2 years now. Well, no, about 1.5 years since COVID. To be honest, we started working with them in the year of COVID. So it's going to be 2 years in June. We'll be working with them, and we're planning on opening with another one where right now we're publishing highlight issues of what's in the full issue, so people can go to issuu.com and they can see our highlights. They get like 5 photos of each of the models that's in the magazine. The highlight issues are about 70 pages, and they're free. And the published issues on Zinio are $6.99. They're $6.99, and there's 13 issues. If you want to subscribe, it's $39.99. And those issues are typically 250 pages.
So it's because it seems like what's old is now becoming new again, because I'm seeing a resurgence of the adult mag. The fact that of course there's digital, it's online, what have you. I'm pretty sure that y'all do get some sales that are the hard copies. So why do you think that there's a resurgence of the adult magazine?
Well, I think that there was a slump in the adult magazines when magazine sales started dropping off, and then everybody got into the digital market. And the digital market is actually very big. It's larger than the print market ever was. We're looking at, for example, on Zinio alone, we were ranked last week number 15, the 15th most popular magazine out of 240. So we find that to be flattering. Above us, of course, are the top publishers, the ones that have gone digital in addition to selling print copies, because there's always a transition period. Like Playboy was trying to do a transition period from print magazine to a digital only, but in the US it was not that successful. So in the US they stopped doing that. But in other countries, Playboy has been very successful in the digital publications. Sweden, for example, South Africa is another example. Norway, Germany, those Playboy editions all publish digitally, and which is great, because it boasts that the digital market is coming and the print market is disappearing slowly. The U.S., like Mexico and like other South American countries, is always a little bit behind, because for whatever reason, technology or whatever. But these other countries, they're already grabbing the trend. Penthouse is available on Zinio. Playboy, the other countries' Playboys are available on Zinio, and you can also buy on their website a digital publication of Playboy. But it's still the most popular option is the mail subscriptions, that people receive their Playboy magazine in a brown paper envelope by the U.S. mail, and then like an anonymous brown envelope. The same thing with Penthouse. Penthouse still has the popular "we deliver it to your home" subscriptions.
Yeah, because even I remember back in the day when I was growing up, it was a source of seeing the hottest girls, who was popping in the adult film industry and stuff like that. Because you're not just get pinup ladies, you actually get ladies that are in the adult film industry. That's well known, as well as being worldwide, period. How many models do you get, trying to be in a magazine that's international versus home base?
Well, recently, it's not like it was before. When I was in Mexico, believe it or not, I had more models from around the world contacting me, particularly from Russia, from Hungary, from Germany. I have shot 2 models in particular from Germany for our inked edition, and I brought a model to Mexico from Russia, who was a Russian porn star, and she was featured in one of last year's editions. So yes, I mean, and of course, South America is always a big one. I still get lots and lots of people from Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, and Mexico who contact me to be in the magazine. Like in this month, we've got Alana Love on the cover in January. Inside the magazine, we've got a Cuban Asian mix, tall girl who also has a nude food review program. I mean, it's such a large influx of people, taking advantage of the marketing side of it, because we don't pay our models. People have to understand there's no pay to the models. The photographers don't make any money. For a month, we make $90 after commissions are paid. So that doesn't even cover travel expenses to go do a shoot or anything like that. So it's a publicity thing. It's a marketing thing for the models. They get 2 years of marketing. We push them on Twitter. We push them on Instagram. We push them on Facebook. Apart from being in the magazine. And
because what ladies don't understand is that if you're the cover girl, or you within the magazine, they have to push that magazine. They have to push the girls that's in it. You're going to be seen a lot. Plus, it's a broad audience, because when you're dealing with a magazine, that's different than when you're dealing with OnlyFans. I look at it equivalent of having a podcast. Exactly. Because the audience that you're playing to is not only broader but also international as well. So it's kind of like it behoves females to be in a magazine.
Oh yeah, I mean, our 70% of our buyers and readers are from the U.S., and the second largest percent are from the UK. And then the third one largest is from Germany, but if you look at it in perspective, 150 sales, 100 of them are from the US, and the other 50 are divided up in, 20 other countries. We've had some really great successes with getting the magazine sales around the world.
Yeah, most definitely. So when we go to AVN and get in the booth?
Well, like I told my photographer, it won't be obviously it wasn't this year. He was there. We had stickers we were handing out. We had some T-shirts, some crop tops that we were handing out. But other than that, it was basically just because we had 30 model shoots programmed that we wanted to get done. We also wanted to connect with some other models. Fortunately, I've been talking a lot with Elijah Brin, like I said, Harley King, Valentina Bellucci. There's just a lot of models that we've been talking to about getting in the magazine, getting publicity. I mean, and what they got to realize too is that it's a free resource for them right now. If you want to be on the cover of Playboy, it's going to cost you as a model $6,000. People are confused. They think that a model gets paid $6,000 to be on Playboy's cover. But
Yeah.
unless it's a very famous person that's not in the adult industry that they're trying to get onto the cover or into the magazine, they're not going to pay them a penny. They're going to charge them to be there, because there's no better publicity for an upcoming model than to be featured on a Playboy cover, or to be featured on a Hustler cover, or to be
Mhm.
featured on a Penthouse cover. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
because
no.
it still holds weight even in this day and age, even though it's not necessarily print anymore.
Oh yeah, it still holds a lot of weight,
Yeah,
because
because
the
no, go ahead. Go ahead. What you about to say?
our inside the magazine, within the model info, within the model photo shoot and her info, there's her Twitter, there's her Instagram, there's links to her paid content, whether it's OnlyFans, many videos, or whatever. So it's all there. It's all integrated right into the magazine, and all of those links are clickable. Anybody that buys publicity, their whole publicity is clickable, so
Yeah,
they can click right from.
because see, the thing about it is that people don't realize even back then when it was print, girls really wasn't getting paid to be in the mags. Period. It was to gain exposure
Oh yeah, of
on a
course.
mass scale. No different than what it is now. Because it's kind of funny. I don't know where the narrative hit where girls getting paid being in some of the magazines. Cause I remember Summer Bunnies. It was back when the internet was young and girls can make money off of pictures. Summer Bunnies did not pay none of the models that they were shooting.
No, no,
Period.
same thing with what was it, Southern California co-eds, SoCal co-eds.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
in the day, that was a marketing thing for the girls.
Yeah.
So
See,
yeah,
because that was the whole point of what it was. And then it was either TFP, or it was a deal to where even if they gave them something, they gave them a little bit of something.
oh yeah,
Like maybe $100, maybe $200. No, probably $100. Period,
Yeah.
or something. But for the most part, girls weren't getting paid for the. That's why I said this day and age is different than what it was 10 or 15 years ago. And ladies don't even understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you have the opportunity to make money off of you in ways that was never, ever out there.
Right.
So,
And I also think that I truly believe that the public in general, like our listeners, they would rather pay a girl, like a favorite model, they would rather subscribe to their OnlyFans and see the person of their liking, rather than subscribing to a porn channel and having a variety of it. I don't know, I could be wrong,
yeah.
but I think they would
No,
rather
you're
see
right.
the money. They would rather see the money go in directly into the model's pocket.
Yeah.
I know I prefer that.
Yeah. And see, the point being is, here's also psychology of it. If a female is featured in a magazine, it gives them a different conversation and gives them a different look, because now you're looking like a model sex symbol, because that's what magazines represent.
Exactly.
Period. Because like I keep telling everybody, you want to be on everything that is free marketing that will market you in a way into a market that you can't market yourself to.
Exactly. That's what I keep trying to tell the girls that are in Latin America in particular. All of their content that they write and their advertising that they write is in Spanish instead of in English. And we all know that, I know from experience doing webcam with my girlfriend and with another model. The people want to speak to the model. They like that conversation.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is, if they can't communicate with the model because she doesn't speak at least the English language, so many people would connect me. The first thing they would ask is, "Do you speak English?" And if you can't speak English, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
So the whole thing would be to market to a whole new demographic. For the Brazilians, the Colombians, the Venezuelans, the Mexicans, the Cubans. Don't keep marketing to your local market, because typically, and it's been proven by X videos and Pornhub, Mexicans don't buy or pay for porn, and they
No, we
don't buy or pay for magazines. You know, if it's not if it's not free, they don't want it. You know, in
Yeah.
2 years that we're going to go on selling, you know, since 2020, since June 2020, we have only had 2 people from Mexico actually buy an issue. 2, and we were based in Mexico. So
Now, see, now that's interesting that you bring that up, right? Let's unpack that, because that's why I think a lot of people don't understand, even on the porn side of things, is that you got to look at different countries different ways when it comes to your porn, when it comes to your content, or what you put out.
of course,
And understand what that country does. Period.
what their buying
Because
habits are in particular.
yeah. Because to a certain extent, like for example, girls from Venezuela would get off over here, yes, if they actually knew how to speak English.
Oh
Because
yeah,
now
for
you
sure.
can webcam, plus it's a fantasy or what have you. Period. Even if they came over here to work in the country, they had work set up. Period. Because one, just to hear her speak Venezuela Spanish during the scene would be high, but
Yeah.
but also it's a different flavor of Spanish.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know that here, like for example, where I live in Houston, there's a big Latin American community, and you know, so it's really common, and particularly when I got here, to find that the people who work in the restaurants, the people, like for example, I got a delivery from Walmart yesterday, and the driver didn't speak English. So when he came, he was trying to tell me to wait because he still had more bags. And I understood what he was saying because he was saying it in Spanish, I guess trying to imagine what to say in English. And so I answered him naturally in Spanish. And he was like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course."
Well, sure, I ain't go front. You in the spot in Houston. I mean, I'm pretty sure you run into some ladies.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, there
you know.
are. I mean, I'm in the hood. I mean, literally, when I tell you, I moved into the hood, and I'm happy here. I love it. I mean, it's absolutely. I feel like I'm in my environment from New York and all that. But there is it's because of the area. There is some there are some Latin American girls around here. Most of them from Central America, not from Mexico. But there are some Venezuelan and there's some Cuban girls here as well. And but the majority of this area of the community is not not popular. People like my physical therapist called me and he said, "I want to verify where you live," and I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I don't go into that area, bro. I got to get somebody else to go in there." It was like,
Yeah, you live in the hood. Yeah, you do.
I live in the hood, and it's an area that's called Greens Point, and it was nicknamed Guns Point.
Yeah, you in the hood if it's named Guns Point.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
hood as it.
we've had gunfire outside the window here a couple of times, and we had a police raid here one day. I mean, we had the place filled with tear gas one time, so it's it's that. I mean, like I said, I feel comfortable going out and walking at night. I've made a lot of friends, that live here in the same complex, and some that have left but come back to drop their kids off to go to school and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm really content here. I feel like I'm in my environment, and I love the girls of color. It just doesn't matter whether they're Latin, whether they're black, or whether they're Asian. I'm just a fan of that olive skin.
Now I'm gonna ask you this as a photographer, as a magazine man, or what have you, because I always talk about ladies' pictures, and what I mean by pictures is the type of pictures that they post.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of ladies do not take the time to go get professional shoots done or shoot their pics professionally, and they don't understand the importance and the look of having a professional shot versus your little selfie, what have you. So, as a photographer and a magazine guy, explain to the ladies why, if you want to be taken seriously, you need to have those type of pictures in your arsenal.
Oh yeah, I mean, today it's much more reasonable than it was when I was in New York. I mean, in New York, for shooting 11 pairs of jeans for a designer, we got $7,000, and that was like a half a day's work. And today, and today you could probably get a shoot for a couple of $100, and end up with 24 good quality pictures. The difference between shooting professional and shooting, having somebody just come in and shoot your content is there's a lot of factors. One is that a professional photographer typically doesn't put his camera on automatic like the consumer would and take pictures based on what the camera is interpreting. He would be taking pictures like I do, on manual settings, specifically
Yeah,
setting
like
the
that's how I shoot. I don't do no automatic shit.
yeah, you set the correct what you select the correct color temperature for the lighting that you're using, and you make sure that your shots are good.
Mhm. Yeah. So
Yes.
and like I said, it just makes the girl look a certain way.
Oh yeah, and
You
of
know,
course having a professional photographer's name stamp on your photos also brings a different level. The photographer's willing to promote you because he spent the time to create a perfect image, and for me, I don't do a lot of Photoshop. I'm not big into Photoshop. I'm more into the model having the right wardrobe, the correct poses, the correct lighting, and then just correcting simple things like maybe she's got a scar that we don't want to show, like a scar on her ankle, or maybe she's got some pimples that day. But I mean, there's key things that people don't think about. I saw that recently, with a photographer shoot, that a girl submitted to me that a professional photographer supposedly shot, and you could tell just by the series of images and the camera settings that all of those photos were taken on automatic because they all had different shutter speeds, different apertures, different ISOs, and you could tell right away that they weren't professional. So I had to spend a lot of time editing them afterwards before they go into the magazine. Um,
yeah,
and it's just not good for your image to create crap. You know,
yeah,
pardon my frankness, but what happens is if you want people to pay you, then you have to behave like a professional, and
basically.
you have to work like a professional. And the people rely so much these days, and I know the girls are probably the most guilty of it. They rely so much on Twitter and Instagram for sales, and I used to be the same way. I used to rely on Twitter years ago, and I used to get a good return on it. But today, for the last couple of years, Twitter's been really broken as far as marketing adult entertainment. We're all every adult entertainer, whether they know it or they don't know it, even some of the PR companies are blocked from search results. They're blocked from suggestion. Um, so when people go in, like I go in looking for a model's Twitter that we're shooting or that we shot, and I can't find it.
Yeah, same here.
Yep.
Same here.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole problem is that, and I used to get 80%, 90% of my website traffic used to come from social media, and I turned that around, and I don't tweet as much. I don't post on Instagram, 3 or 4 times a day. And I get 95% of my traffic comes from Google search. And it's from writing quality articles and publishing quality articles, not only on your own website, but also on other websites. It's a service that we offer the models who appear in the magazine. We offer to put an article on the website that drives traffic to their content and to their Twitter account if they want, their Instagram, and their paid content sites. And those are the tools that actually are working today better than social media as far as Twitter's concerned. And we all know what's been happening with Instagram. Many people in the adult industry have been, myself included, have been losing their Instagram accounts. I lost my photographer account.
Yeah, I recently lost a Instagram account.
Yeah,
I
and I
stay
mean, I never published. I never published anything nude on Instagram. Everything was always, covered. And
but see, that's why part of being a business owner is finding the other ways of doing it. Like even with me, like even with the podcast, I always repost stuff on Good Pods. I shoot, I use Facebook when I can, and started back using Tumblr, what have you. Then it's Smuttify and LSWorld.com wanted to sponsor shots out LSWorld.com. And then of course, people use FetLife. So it's to be honest with you, it is harder to promote adult shit now because even to the point I had to deal with one of my, one of my videos being taken down, and it was nothing being done in the video on Spotify.
Well, the same thing happened to me on YouTube. I posted a behind the scenes video on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, but it was completely dressed in lingerie. There was no sexual content. There's no sexual implications or anything, but they closed my account because of it. And they didn't close it because of adult content. They closed it according to their email was for spam. So I posted one video and they called it spam. I didn't send it to anybody or anything because my channel was known. But it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was like, even with Spotify, I was kind of crazy because even to the point that, like I said, in the premium smoke room, the girls get a little loose. It only touched one video from there, and I understood why, because the girl was using a dildo, but it says in the bylaws, you know what I'm saying? I read the bylaws that as long as it ain't something to do with sexual gratification, she could probably be their topless or what have you. But the videos that they messed with recently had none of that going on. They were actually the free ones, the one that everyone could see. So it's kind of like, to me, I'm like, wait a second. Why y'all messing with those? I can understand the other ones, but it is what it is. And here's the sad part. I can't even contact them to dispute it.
No, and that's the thing. Like
that's
even now with part. Yeah, and even now with Twitter, if you try, you put in an appeal in, it takes years. I mean, my Eroticism magazine account got suspended in December 2020, and I got it back in 2022. That's how long it took them. That's how long it took them to reactivate my account.
Yeah, because like I said, it's just
there's nothing that we can do about the changes that were coming. It started in the Trump administration. It's continued through the Biden administration from the Republican side. And I never like to talk about politics, but if you look at what's going on with the Republicans, and they're getting rid of legalized abortions, and some states are worse than others. Florida wants to have a no porn rule. So I mean, it's getting.
I saw Louisiana. I think it's one of the states. Louisiana made it to where you can't search porn. I said, okay, this is becoming stupid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And this is where we're going, and it's sad. It's really sad because we evolved from this in the 1960s and the 1970s. We evolved from porn being illegal, or porn being demonic, so to speak, and now into it being a legal business. And as long as there's no child pornography and no
because if you really want to go there, if we're gonna talk real shit, like you have a shortage of nurses, shortage of people that's working, and if you look at it, it's a lot of the shit that women do, right?
Oh yeah,
it was an influx of motherfuckers doing OnlyFans.
Exactly, especially when COVID hit. when COVID hit, OnlyFans exploded. I mean, it was the only thing
Yeah.
that launched their business into a new world. And then they wanted to cut porn out altogether. And I guess when they sat back and they looked at it, they were talking about losing millions and millions of dollars a month by closing porn out of their platforms. But
Yeah.
so I mean, it would
Yeah.
have been just stupid. It would have been the worst business decision in the world. And
Yeah.
you look at all the production studios that have moved from California to Canada, and the same thing is going to happen with Florida now. The porn companies are going to leave Florida. They're going to go to Canada, where they don't have these problems.
And like I said, man, it's just interesting how it's tough to be a sex worker, even as a podcaster.
Oh yeah.
Even as a magazine owner, it's just
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
man.
You have to protect yourself at all times. And then you've got the problem with unscrupulous people that are still in the business, or I shouldn't say are still in the business, but they come into the business thinking that porn today is what it was in the '60s, where the porn producer was just screwing the model before or after the taping, and it just just doesn't work that way anymore.
No. But see, people still want to believe in that fantasy.
Oh yeah, of course.
They still want to believe in that fantasy. That's what it is, but it's not anymore because it's opened up to the average motherfucker to jump in it.
Oh yeah, and now with the new cameras, on the new phones with the new camera quality and stuff, everybody thinks they're a photographer, and there's nothing like going to school for 4 years and learning the business, before jumping in with both feet. And it's not about the equipment. I don't care if you're rich and you can go out and buy buy a $10,000 camera. It's not the camera, it's not the lens, it's the photographer.
Yeah.
And after the photographer, it's the lighting, and then after the lighting, it's the lens. So people get so caught up in. I even saw a content creator posted on her thing. I bought 2 Sony, mirrorless cameras. Good, you invested $6,000. Who's going to shoot you? You're going to shoot yourself with that camera. Who's going to do your lighting and stuff? And although some of her stuff does look good, obviously taken by a third person, but it's still not the same.
No, because like I said, you have photographers who are great, and then you have photographers who is great with Adobe.
Exactly. And those aren't photographers, they're designers.
Yeah.
They're designers. I don't use, most everybody that knows me knows I don't use Photoshop. If it can't be fixed in Lightroom, that's tough.
No, actually, this how I shoot it because if anything, I'm using sharpness, contrast, and saturation. I'm not, and I might what they call crop it, depending upon how I shot it.
Oh yeah,
but
of course.
I'm not doing too much Photoshop shit because females don't realize people want to still see the naturalness of you, even though it's a photo.
Exactly. It's not you.
Yeah.
And that's what we like to present in the magazine, the real person. We don't like to, create the fantasy model. We think that people today really appreciate seeing the true model. And if they're going to go on your OnlyFans or your ManyVids, and they're going to see you, or they're going to watch you on webcam, they're going to see the real you. So do you want to fake you, to portray you in a magazine or in your publicity, and then them come on and see the real you? No, you want to sell them on the real you. You want people that respect you for who you are and are going to pay you for doing what you do.
Yes. So, boss man, I done held you up on here for almost an hour, and we done got some good knowledge on photography. And y'all need to go get a subscription to Eroticism magazine, like I've been telling y'all. It's great, just great. Damn it. It's just great for the pages, the lasers in there, the shots. I done interviewed a few of them, and I'm enjoying this partnership that I got with my man here with Mr. Stoles. I enjoy it. We're going to keep it going. He will be back. So, Mr. Stoles, tell everyone where they can find and purchase a subscription, a monthly subscription to Eroticism Magazine.
Well, they can visit our website at eroticismmagazine.com, or they can go to our publisher, which is zinio.com/eroticism magazine. And they can subscribe, or they can buy individual issues. We have current issues. We've got past issues. We've got subscriptions for upcoming issues. So, and actually one of our popular sales each month is always past issues. People see, a model on a cover that they happen to like, and, from our past, and they buy that up, which we still feel is great that after 2 years, magazines are still selling, the old ones. So we're working on improving every day. We're getting better models. Like I said, this 2023, the first half of 2023, we're going to have some incredible content, incredible inked models for our special edition. And we're going to do a special black and white vintage style issue, probably sometime around September. And we have a great back to school issue planned. So you're not gonna want to miss any of this year's stuff. Like I said, we've got Marika Haas, we've got Jupiter Jetson, we've got Zarella Skies coming and we've got we got a model from Russia who we shot yesterday. I got another redhead that I just got today. So if you visit our Instagram or you visit our Twitter, you can see some of the behind the camera videos of the girls that are going to be coming at you. Jupiter Judson, one of my absolute favorites, beautiful redhead. And I just have a thing for redheads.
me too. You ain't on them, buddy.
Yep.
Love me
So yeah, so you got to hook up with us. Visit the magazine at eroticismmagazine.com. Every issue is on the front page of the website. You click on the issue that you want to check out, and you go right to the website. Don't worry about it. It's like no frills. So, and of course, we have our news section, porn news. You can go in there and look at all the porn things that are going on. You can go into our model section where we have past, present, and future models featured there as well. So, you're not going to want to miss out. It's free. The website's free. Everything on there is free. Just buying the issues is what costs you. So hopefully we'll see you on the website. Always open for comments, Bobby. You know that people can DM me on Twitter. They can DM me on Instagram. Just don't DM me hi. Or, the famous one for me is, hey, babe, you look really good. And I'm like, hey, I'm not a babe. I'm a guy.
I be getting that too, dog.
Yeah, no.
Curly says dude on my shit, but they actually think that I'm a chick.
Yeah, they see the content online and they're just like, oh, that's definitely a girl.
Most definitely. So with that being said, people, we came to an end of another one. And you know how we end these things every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over. Thank you for coming by, sponsor.
Word. Thanks for having me, Bobby. We really appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right.